What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Benzinga After Hours show. I'm your host, Ryan Rozbiani. Thank you so much for joining me today. We got a lot to talk about, as always, on this show. As always, folks, we like to implore you to go ahead and smash the subscribe button if you haven't already, to be a part of the massive plethora of shows and educational shows and informational shows that the Benzinga Network brings you. My name is Ryan Rozbiani. I'm a trader that has the pleasure of being with you today on this platform to bring you some updates and news. As you saw in the title, we'll be talking about the AMC and GME squeeze. But before we jump into that fun in part two of the show, part one, I always love to go over the major indices, Bitcoin and Ethereum, along with SPY and QQQ and the NASDAQ and S&P 500 to see how they were doing today in relative to all the stocks that we'll be discussing in part two of the show, where we'll be discussing AMC and GME. And of course, as always, in the third part of the show, towards the end, we'd love to do Q&A with the folks in the chat. So that means if you have a stock or a ticker or whatever you'd like to throw in the chat, go ahead and do that, and I will try to review it towards the end of the show. But all I ask for you in return is if you smash that like button for me. That way I can make sure that you're supporting the show and I can bring you as much value as possible. So without further ado, let's jump into my beloved SPY, the S&P 500. Folks, look at this right here. The MACD for us finally, in the longest amount of time, I got to go full screen here. I don't even want you to see me. I want you to see this. It's so important. It's finally beginning to do a reversal. It feels like it's been forever since we've seen a reversal on the MACD for SPY. I think the last time we were fully positive was April 21st, which feels like literally it's over a month ago. SPY's been having a rough time. As many of you who are veterans of the show, look, my little gap box is back. I was able to redraw it. Last show, for some reason, it was gone, but that's okay. Now I'm thinking maybe we never fill this gap. Maybe down the road, but right now, SPY is looking very bullish, and it's really weird. Again, heed with caution. Our MACD is positive, which is very good. We're going upwards. Richard Judge is saying 420 held all day. I love that. Or look at that 426.9. Where's Elon Musk to buy some of these SPY dips? Look at that 426 now. We can't make this stuff up. It's hilarious. You can only get this on this stream. But take a look at it. This gap that we've been worried about, completely forgotten. We bounced right off the 50 SMA twice this week, which is, well, last week and this week. We've been bouncing off of it, so it looks like it's building support. And for the past 4 days, we've been closing directly above the 21 moving average, which is very good sign, very bullish indicator, which makes me think maybe I should dump my bear stocks, but I'm going to keep them in case the red does come around one day and I can make a few bucks off of those. But SPY's looking good, folks, and maybe we go even higher tomorrow. But again, I want to heed caution. It is Friday going into a 3-day weekend. Remember, Monday the markets are closed, so that means a lot of folks like to take money off the table so they can party over the weekend or have some fun or go to the beach house or do whatever they need to do. So be very careful, heed caution, and have fun, because again, this is a marathon, not a race. So we want to take our time with these markets. Eventually, we will always, as it's seen in the stock market forever, if we take a look at it with the 5-year relative kind of range, if it loads for me, come on, TradeView, give me some love. I don't want a 5-year candle. What am I doing? Give me the daily candle. There it is, daily candle. And now I want you to give me the 1-day candle. All right, you know what? We're going to have to go old school and zoom out. My little trade view thing is bugging out, but that's completely okay. That's completely okay. Give me 6 months, actually. You know what? Then give me 1 year. There it is. So if you look at it, relatively speaking, SPY, when they say stocks only go up, they're not joking. But if you look at the indices relatively, they always tend to kind of creep up over time. You have your dips, you have your corrections, you have your crashes. They happen. That allows the index to consolidate, get stronger, and come back with higher momentum. We saw it last year. As things were getting a little bit wild within the markets, we saw that last year our stock market took a huge dip, but we had a massive rally into this year. And we've seen that almost always after every correction / consolidation, we have a nice little rally afterwards. Look at this. In March, we had the big dip last year in 2020, rallied again, a little small dip in September into the election. Then we rallied all the way into March and February. We had our small dip in correction here, which we can't even see. It's so small. Everyone was freaking out so much. It's so small now in relative to everything that's been going on for these past few weeks that no one even really cares about it anymore. It's such a small blip in our radar that, whoa, remember when SPY went to 370? I wish I could show it to you, but come on, TradeView. Give me some love. It's okay. Give it. It's being a little bit funky with this today, but that's all right. Let's let TradeView It's a TradeView rest. We all remember that time. We can't forget that redness. Now let's go over to my buddy QQQ. This is the ETF that parallels the NASDAQ. This is all of our favorite tech stocks are in here. These are the ones that we want to talk about today. Oh man, I'm having a bit of trouble. Let me give this a good old refresh. You guys know how it is. It's not a good show without any technical difficulties. Technical difficulties are always a good sign of good luck coming. Oh, I completely forgot. I'm not even on the screen with you. There we go. There I am. Wanted to make sure you could see me. I don't know where my face was. I was doing all these hand gestures and you guys couldn't see me. Where are the folks in the comments to let me know? Where you been, guys? Let's go to the 6-month view. No, I don't want the 2-hour candle. I want the daily candle. I guess there's so many people buying AMC and Gamestop today. You guys are crashing TradeView. Let's see what's going on here. You know what? There we go. There we go, folks. There we go. All right, give me the daily chart. Boom. Back to business. All right, so if you're a veteran of the show and you've been watching, QQQ is one we've been watching. We got 2 gaps here. We filled them last week, which was fantastic. That allowed us to, again, begin our rally back upwards. So you saw we came down here. This is essentially the trend line we've been watching in between, essentially between the 50 and the 200 simple moving average. That's where we've kind of been lying in there, in between there. And it's been kind of holding that, which is good. We closed above the 50 moving average for 4 consecutive days and 3 consecutive days above the 21 moving average. And our MACD is much stronger here than SPY. It looks like QQQ filled its gaps and is recovering much stronger, which is more of a bullish indicator for me for this. But I am seeing a bit of a curve here on the RSI, which gives me a little bit of a worry, a downward trend. I do imagine tomorrow we will have a red day and a sell-off because, again, we are going into a 3-day weekend. So heed some caution there as well. And then let's go quickly to BTC and Ethereum, because then I want to jump into GameStop and AMC and kind of dive deep into those, because that's in the title. Again, we're not clickbaiting you. This is what we want to talk about. So here it is. I bring it up on Webull because we can't pull it up on the TradeView here yet, but that update is coming to the Benzinga Pro suite. If we look here, Bitcoin's sort of been dancing between these levels here of the Fibonacci's, between 36 and 42. It's been having a hard time getting over this 40 area. It's been a big resistance point, the 40K area, but I think we'll eventually cross that. If you look here, our RSI is somewhat getting stronger, but again, it will need time. And our MACD wants to reverse, but we need that oomph to come in and kind of get us to that next level. But again, one thing to remember is a lot of this buildup here that happened, we had a massive rally in Bitcoin this past year. It comes with a correction, just like every massive rally is followed by a correction or a crash. Not because it is just how it is. It's because people, take profits. Plus, we had a massive injection of fear from Elon Musk, who I'm now calling the harbinger of chaos, and of course in a loving and admirational way, because I'm a huge fan of Elon and what he does. But we have to also keep in mind that things need to cool off, but also it's a very good sign to remember that the last time Bitcoin crashed, quote unquote, was down here in March, and it came down to $4,000 a coin. This time where we crashed, where everyone's calling this a massive crash, you got the headlines, it's the end of Bitcoin. It's the end of Bitcoin. We only came down to 30K, 29,258. Some websites say 30K. I'm just going to go with 30K because that's easier to say than to read out that whole number for you. But I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel, but look at this. This beautiful support level held at 28.8, held 30K on some of these charts, held on some levels that show it. Webull shows me lower. Coinbase's chart shows me 30K. I don't know about you, but I'm highly confident in this stock. I'm sorry, in this asset into the future. And again, there's a lot of complexity to Bitcoin. Very few people understand it. Very few people are even playing with this asset and kind of trading it and hodling it. So remember, the night is still young for Bitcoin, in my opinion. There's a lot of opportunities coming, but beware, take your time. And of course, as we do with everything, dollar cost average in, so it protects you as you're going in. Next, let's go to our final and fourth index that we kind of look at. Yes, I know that Ethereum and Bitcoin aren't indices, but they do play a big impact on our markets, whether we like it or not. And I like to bring in Ethereum because it's going to lead into our GameStop conversation, which we're about to have right now. So if you're watching and you're a fan of GameStop or AMC, smash the like button. And if you don't like what's going on with GameStop and AMC, smash the like button too. We got software that'll tell us what you're thinking. Benzinga's getting really good at the technology over here. So I don't think we had a chance to talk about Ethereum in the last stream, but let's cover it here too. Again, Ethereum tested 2 double lows, essentially. Came down to a low of 1,800 and then came down to another low of 1,731, which is like, all right, what happened here? Why did we double down lower? Whereas with Bitcoin, we came down to 30K, and then on our second dip, it was much higher. It was a higher low. per se, but this one came lower. But Ethereum had a parabolic move essentially since where it was at the 2000 levels. It had a parabolic move. We were expecting a dip and a correction, justifiably so, because of how massively it ran up in the coming weeks. So whether we like it or not, whether it was expected or not, it happened. I'm just trying to see what's going on in there. Investor Humble says going to need some time. I agree. We're going to need some time. Just be patient. Use these opportunities if you believe in them. If you're deep in the game, if you're understanding what's happening in Ethereum and Bitcoin, these are probably opportunities for you to come on, quote unquote, buy in, dollar cost average in, and with time, we'll set up for higher highs. I'm very bullish on Ethereum. I possibly think that Ethereum's market cap could overtake Bitcoin's market cap in the next 2 to 3 years, just because of the massive applications that Ethereum has. But I'm also, again, full disclosure, I have a position in both Ethereum and Bitcoin at about a 54 to 52 ratio, essentially. And then it got some Litecoins, not 52 to 54. That math doesn't make any sense. It's about a 47. It's about a 47, 48 breakup, and then the rest of it is like in Cardano and a little bit of Doge, just because I like Doge and I like the movement that's happening there. So I wanted to be a part of that movement and have some fun, because sometimes investing can be fun too, because why not? So Ethereum, we're looking to make higher highs soon. This resistance point right here at 3,000 is holding up. It's being a pain in the butt. And then we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. Enough about the indices. Let's go to GameStop. Let's talk about GME. I know a lot of you folks are having fun. I know a lot of you folks are playing GameStop. I know a lot of us folks were hoping GameStop would have a massive run today. Whoops, and there goes my microphone. we gotta glue this thing down one day. And so let's go ahead. Let's go over to GameStop GME. So those of you who are unfamiliar with GameStop, or this is your first time learning about it, GameStop was a big player in the Wall Street bets community in terms of a short squeeze that occurred just in the beginning of this year. They had a massive rally, went all the way up to $483 a share. Then unfortunately came tumbling down. But then there's been multiple momentum movements thanks to Ryan Cohen, the new gentleman who's joined the suite for GameStop. And now recently we've had two very, look at that. Oh, look, GameStop rallied. I thought GameStop was red today. I guess since the last time I looked at it, it jumped up. One thing to keep in mind in the GameStop versus AMC world, GameStop has a much lower float than AMC. That means it does not require that much more volume to move it up. It can move up much faster. That's why you might usually see that, hey, AMC is following GameStop. They're both getting volume, but it's just that GameStop can move up much faster than AMC due to the volume, due to the float that it has. So the float that we have here on Benzinga, it's telling me it's about a 40 million float, and then for AMC it's about 450 million floats. It's about an 11x float for AMC. So you're going to need about 11x more volume incoming for it to be able to kind of rally and relay. But let's go into here. So let's watch. So this is very interesting. This is very interesting what I'm seeing here with GameStop, because usually in the previous massive rallies that we've had that were blips versus the big Wall Street bet squeeze, we'd see like 1 or 2 or 3 days of somewhat movement, and then it would come crashing down quite harder. But this time it looks like you've got quite a bit of hodlers. Look at this volume. You've got massive volume coming in. And again, just for those of you who are watching, this is not me by any means telling you to go out there and buy GameStop or AMC. I believe it's a bit too late, but this is more for the folks that are in it, and those of us who are watching along the way and trying to have some fun with AMC and GameStop. Again, not a financial advisor. So we had a 16% day, then we had a 15% day, and today we had a 420% day. I think we're living in meme land today. It's like we had 420.69 on SPY, and now we got 4.2% on GameStop's movement. Decent movement. I think it's nice. I think it's coming. We're in oversold territories. If we look here, overbought territories here, so we're at a pretty high RSI, but that doesn't mean it will stop going. If we look here, we've gone through these higher peak RSIs, but again, heed caution. If you're in this play, if you bought down here, it's usually always a good idea to sell on your way up. That way you can protect your profits and your capital. So, look at this. The good old handy dandy Benzinga Pro is telling me that in 11 days we should be getting earnings. So again, it's unconfirmed, so we can get it earlier, we can get it later. But we got earnings coming up. But the big news that is, look at this. GameStop went green into the after hours. I hope it's not you viewers going out there and buying, because that's not the kind of show we want to run here. But I'm happy for those of you who are in it. The big reason GameStop is having this massive rally is due to this new website that's coming out, NFT GameStop. Let me take you there. There we go, nft.gamestop.com. Boom. Now, you might be saying, Ryan, why'd you spend so much time talking about Ethereum, man? I want to talk about GameStop. That's what we're here for. No, folks, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about AMC versus GameStop. But the big thing that's going on here is GameStop is building an NFT-based thing. I'm calling it a thing because we have no idea yet. This is all the information we have right now. Is change the game with GameStop. Here we go. Boom. Inside. Power to the players, power to the creators, power to the collectors. And then if you keep scrolling down, there's an ID to a wallet here. And they say we're building. We welcome exceptional, there we go, mouth fumble. We welcome exceptional engineers that know Solidity, React, and Python. Those are 3 coding languages out there that are used within the NFT space, within the crypto space. They're fairly common. React and Python are fairly common. They're used a lot in web development as well. And Solidity is used a lot more in the NFT-ish space. Designers, gamers, marketers, and community leaders. So if you're watching and you're interested, this might be a good opportunity for you. If you want to join our team, send your profile or something you've built to NFTEAM. So that's like NFT, but with NFT team without 2 T's, it's just 1 T. It's nfteam@gamestop.com. So again, we have almost no information on this. There's a lot of hype behind this because we know what NFTs did to a lot of our favorite stocks earlier this year. To the moon, essentially, right? We saw what happened with a lot of really good stocks earlier this year. So it's cool. It's very interesting to see how this plays out. I think that GameStop has now broken out of the short squeeze area. I don't think it matters if it's a short squeeze anymore. I think right now it's mainly momentum based off of this NFT space. I think folks want to see the NFT space move. Folks want to see this thing participate in the NFT. They're holding out into the hype of what this NFT could be. And I think that's what's essentially causing a lot of this movement upward. And it's not a bad thing at this time. I don't think it's a bad thing. And I think that the NFT space could be very good for GameStop. Think about it, because the brick and mortar store businesses aren't going to be around forever. Unfortunately, platforms like platforms like Amazon now deliver the games to you, and you don't have to wait outside of GameStop overnight for the game anymore. The game gets to you by release date. And then you got places like Steam that you could just download the game and you don't have to go out to a GameStop and buy it. So that leaves GameStop with low options. Yes, it's part of the charisma and the culture to go out there and wait online sometimes, but you got to be able to sustain profits and make a lot of money to keep this engine going, because it's not cheap to keep these brick and mortar stores going. So I think if I was in GameStop's shoes, I'd like this NFT movement. Maybe we don't know what it is yet. I'd love to hear more about it from the folks that are over there at GameStop, but I don't know. I think that this could be promising, but again, very risky buying after the several days of rally. I do imagine we will probably start to cool off tomorrow, especially as we're going into the 3-day weekend. We'll probably start to cool off, but then after that, maybe if we come down here and let's take a look at it. Let's look for some support levels. So if we come down here, essentially to the 130 level. Now I know a lot of you will be like, "Oh, Ryan, we don't want to come down to the 130 level. Are you crazy?" I don't know. This is the support level that we have here. It's around the 130s, 135s. We got support here. We got more support down here at 122. So it's not a bad thing. It's not like previously where support was down in the $20 area. We do have support that's been built up here, which is good for those of you who are in it. It's a lower downside. But again, in the past, it's been meeting resistance at the 185 level. So I'd imagine if we do begin to cool off, we'll probably come down to the 185 level. Also, remember, you might be saying, how could we have such a massive drop? Remember one more thing. We discussed this earlier in the stream. We've got a 40 million float. That means the same way it can go up fast, it can also come down fast. So that means protect yourself with a stop loss, especially if you bought during that 4-day rally upward, which is loading. Give it a second. If you bought during that 4-day rally that's been going on, you might want to protect yourself with a stop loss, maybe somewhere in the middle of this gap, so you can also get out of there with some profits. But again, 100% up to you. Anthony Roca says, get rich or die trading, CNPG, AMC GME, CNPG again. Coupang is an interesting stock. I actually was looking at them during their IPO session. I do want to read more up on them. They're very interesting. They're like the Amazon of South Korea. So they got an interesting business that they've got going on there. So I definitely would read more into that one. Let's see what else we got going in. Rumor of crypto dividends. Somebody says, I don't know who's doing that. Then we got Doka says AMC. Well, Doka, you're spot on, my friend. We're going to AMC right now. So, folks, if you don't know, I am with you in the AMC movement. I like AMC a lot. Now, the reason I'm in it with you is because when I signed up for Webull, I got 2 free stocks, and one of them was AMC. And I've just been holding AMC because I like it. I'm a sort of a romantic for the movie theaters. I like the movie theaters. I like going to the movies. I like having fun in the movies. I like going there. I like being a part of it. I like the popcorn, the cinematic aspect of it. I've got a lot of great memories growing up going to the movies. Going to the movies with my friends is always a big thing, especially pre-Rona. We'd love to go to the movies. So to me, AMC has a soft spot in my heart. So I always want AMC to win as a company, and I'd love to see the stock going up too. But let's talk about the AMC situation. Of course, again, another parallel 4-day rally. Doka says he or she or they have been in this since $2.50. Congratulations to you, my friend. I really hope you took some profits on the way up so you can enjoy it and spend some money at the actual AMC movie theaters when they open up, or they should be open up by now. But if you look here, if you're not familiar, again, AMC had a parallel short squeeze during that same time that GameStop did. It was part of the quote-unquote Wall Street bet stocks. People call them meme stocks, but I think they've sort of broken themselves away from there. I'm not sure why they're called meme stocks, especially with GameStop going to the NFT space. I don't think they're meme stocks. And I'm sorry, GameStop going to NFTs. I don't know. I don't know why people call them meme stocks. And then the other day I saw something on CNBC looping in IPOE and CCIV as meme stocks. I don't get it. That's why I come to Benzinga for my information. I like Benzinga a lot better. AMC is trading higher amid renewed retail investors' interest in the stock. So let's talk about it. So one big thing, the elephant in the room, is it's got a 450 million float. That means you got to have a lot more volume coming in to be able to move this stock, which is credit to the retail spaces. I guess they're coming in, but also remember, it's not just retail investors that buy and share this. Not buy and share, that buy and trade these stocks. It's also our good friends at the hedgies. They get a part of this too. If you think that it's just retail traders, I think you're a bit mistaken. They also have their thoughts as well, and they come in here and they start buying up and they start having fun with this stuff as well. So keep that in mind, and that's why I always like to heed caution with these massive movements, is because things can happen. But let's go. I want this chart to load. I'm going to will this chart to load. Come on. TradeView. So many of you folks are on Benzinga Pro today, pulling out the AMC charts. You guys aren't letting me. You guys aren't letting me load this thing. There we go. There it is. Thank you to whoever just closed their Benzinga Pro and allowed me to jump on it. We got a lot of volume coming into Benzinga Pro today. All right, let's go. Massive upward trajectory in the RSI. That thing looks like a mountain you want to ski down. It's like one of those diamond mountains or triple diamond mountains. Again, I don't know jack about skiing, so forgive me if I'm using the wrong vernacular. And look at this MACD. Again, it looks like one of those things Tony Hawk would like to skate down with a bike or something. But it's massive, massive, massive movement. Look at this, 31% movement here, 20% movement here, another 20% movement, another 13% movement. To me, this looks like a lot of the GameStop volume shifted into AMC, which is interesting because they could make a lot more money moving GameStop, quote unquote. By moving GameStop, I mean buying the stock because of the lower float. But this is interesting. This is the first time we've seen AMC have a massive movement like this. Again, I'm playing it by ear, so forgive me if I'm off. Have a 31% movement with GameStop lagging with only a 4%. It's usually the other way around, as we discussed a little bit earlier. It's usually GameStop runs and AMC slowly trails it. So it would be like GameStop at 10%, AMC at 2%, or GameStop at 20, AMC at 8. So we're having a massive movement here, which is quite interesting. Now, I'm hearing a lot of stuff going on about June 2nd being some big thing is going to happen on June 2nd with something called ghost shares or stuff like that. Again, I'm not too sure about that, but one thing that I've learned about these kind of things when there's a date, like with Doge, with SNL, or 420, is that usually, unfortunately, people like to sell the news. It's buy the rumor, then when we get to June 2nd, they quote-unquote sell the news. So again, that means protect yourself. If you're in this rally, if you had some fun, you made some money, you moved the games, you moved the GameStops, you moved the AMCs, maybe it's a good idea to take some profits. On your way up, take some profits. There's no shame to it there. Then when the stock comes back down, because we've got support around here around $8, $8.20. I'll give you $9. I can't really get it exact here. Let me see. Let me just go as exact as we can. Around $8. All right, I'll give you $9. Around $8, around $9, you got support. You got support at $9. There's a big gap between $9 and $25. Protect yourself, especially if you're in this. Look at this. These big wicks up mean that there's folks that were buying it up here, and then that means there was also folks that were selling up here that quote-unquote created bag holders, which is a word I don't like to use because it's a negative mental connotation for the in terms of psychology of trading. But It's fascinating. The stock almost touched $30. It was this high. I posted something on my Twitter. It was this high. The last time AMC stock was this high was, I believe it was, off the top of my head, April 20th or April 28th of 2017. Let me just see if I can pull up this screenshot here for you. Let's go StreamYard. There we go. Boom. Take a look at this. Boom. Take profits on the way up. I even put this up here for you. See, take a look at this. April 28th, 2017 was the last time GameStop's shares were this high. Now, mind you, there's been quite a bit of dilution. There's been a 4x dilution since the beginning. Since the beginning of all this wild ride. So it's interesting. But the fun thing about AMC here, that differentiates it a bit from GameStop, is if you look here, now if we want to put our technical trading hats on it again, I'm no Neil. Neil in the morning with technical analysis, he's the maestro. I tip my hat to him, but I'm going to try my best to emulate him a bit here. If you take a look at this here a little bit, if we draw some freehand, if we have a little bit of fun, now bear with me, I am having a bit of trouble here, but if we draw a little bit, we got a bit, again, I need a little bit more room. What are you doing here? TradeView's killing me today. Oh, all right, hold on. Let me take it to Webull. Let me take it to Webull. I think I drew it on Webull. You can see it on my screen. If I take it to Webull, it should be already drawn. If not, I'm a little bit more accustomed to drawing with Webull. But let's draw a few trend lines. If we go from here, which is the top part, and we draw to this peak right here, and then we draw from here to here. Those of you who see this, you can see this is a nice wedge that formed and it broke right out of the wedge. And again, forgive me, the bottom line isn't exact right now. My eyes with this desktop do play a lot of games with me. I do got my optical appointment coming up very soon, so you might be seeing me with glasses in a few weeks. But look at this. For those who like to say there's no technical analysis or technical merit to AMC, if I had more time and I could draw this a little bit more cleaner, you got a bit of a breakout that happened here. I'm just going to delete this bottom line. But you got a bit of a breakout. Look at this. You got the top of the wedge. Imagine a line that's right here. You broke under the wedge a little bit, but then you broke back into it. You know what? Let's take the time and draw this together. We got time. Let's do this. We'll do this. Everyone's here's essentially here to talk about AMC. Let me do my best to deliver. Right. All right. Oh, come on, Webull. Don't trade view me, Webull. You know what I think the problem is? I think it's my mouse. My mouse isn't quite fantastic on this computer, but I'm going to try my best. Oh, boom. There we go. Close enough, right? Now, if you go into Heikin-Ashi candles, it'll fill a lot of these gaps for you. I personally like using Heikin-Ashi candles for drawing trends. It makes it easier. You can see it fills out a lot of the chaos that happens there and a lot of the gaps. But take a look at this. It broke right out. So if you're a trader, if you're a technical trader and you're watching this, it might have been a good idea to buy somewhere down here. Buy somewhere down here in the nines, mid nines, right? You buy at $9, and then boom, you got this massive rally that happened. What does this mean? This means there's technical merit to this. What happened with AMC? It's not just the squeeze. The squeeze and the momentum comes after you got 4 consecutive days of nice movement, right? You also saw that people took profits here, which means those of you who probably bought down here, sold up here, probably rebought down here and started rebuying back here. Yeah, Nick, right on to Nick. Right here you go. That bull flag was amazing. Yeah, see, Nick probably, I'm assuming, Nick is one of those technical traders who bought it off of this bull flag. See, I couldn't draw it too perfectly here. I was having a bit of trouble, but that's completely okay. That's the name of the game, right? So, folks, now we're going to the third part of the show, my favorite part of the show, Q&A with you. This is where you have the opportunity to throw stocks in the chat after you hit the like button, and I jump in and do a quick analysis for you and tell you what I think about that. While you folks are doing that, I'm going to be a little bit stingy and show you one of my favorite stocks. I don't own any anymore, which I do regret after today's earnings report. But this is a stock that producer AB and I have talked about quite a bit. It's good old Costco. A lot of folks sleep on Costco. They're like, Costco, what is that? The Walmart? Loser Walmart? Come on, what's going on? But Costco's an interesting play here. They had really good earnings. Let's pull it up. Costco, Q3. Now everybody's saying, whoa, we're in Q2. Companies operate differently. This is how these guys reported earnings of $2.75 per share, which beat the analyst estimates of $2.34. That's a 17.5% beat. Now, you might be saying, where's my 100% beat? Remember, this is in the quote-unquote value stock space. This isn't a tech stock. This isn't your Palantirs or your Teslas. This is fantastic. This is a 45.5% increase over earnings of $1.89 per share at the same time last year. So there you go. You got your sort of your tech style beats, right? Earnings for sales. The company reported quarterly sales of $44.38 billion, which beat the analyst consensus estimate of $43.64 billion by 1.7%. I guess the analysts really expect a lot from Costco these days since they've delivered so much, but it's about a 19% net increase of sales of 37.27 during the same period last year. Now, if you recall, the same period last year was peak Rona. That was when everyone was going in there buying up all the water, the toilet paper, the meat, the food, anything that was on shelves was being shoveled out of Costco's and into their carts, and people were going out there and buying it. And they beat that. That means people are spending money. That means maybe we don't have to worry about inflation. Maybe it's not as bad as folks are saying. I know the CPI data came out disgusting, but a lot of that CPI data was due to used cars. So do keep that in mind as we're going into June CPI data and information. And if you like CPI data, I did a massive video on my YouTube channel. Just go to ryanstocks.com and you'll see the first title is my YouTube, and you can see that video where I cover and discuss CPI data with you. So that's Costco in a nutshell. I like it. They also got a dividend. For those dividend players who like dividends. This is for you. This is one of those stocks that would have probably been good buying into those big dips that were coming in. But I promised you that I'd be jumping into some of your stocks. And I got to take my buddy Larry's stock right now, Corn, C-O-R-N. Corn did a bit of a 180 on us today. I was expecting this to go down. Now, Larry is actually one of my Patreon members. We were discussing Corn. I wasn't expecting Corn to run today. This is a run, by the way, in Corn. A 5% jump in Corn is considered a bit of a run if you look at the other days, but it usually doesn't move so wildly. Look at this. Closed above the 50 moving average, bounced right off the 50 moving average, and began to test the 21 moving average. I like it. It's interesting. It's in the commodities. They've been doing well. RSI is going up. Now, will we continue into tomorrow? We could. I think we could. I think we test the 21 moving average again tomorrow. But the only reason that I'd say maybe we don't test it again tomorrow is we might test it and break above it, but I don't think we'll close above the 21 moving, is because of that 3-day weekend coming up. Now, if this was happening on a Wednesday and we had Thursday and Friday afterwards, I think we'd break 21 moving. But again, we got to remember, there's a bit of time is the variable here that is kind of going against us. But let's keep going. Let's go to another one. But I need you folks to smash the like button for me. Let's get this to 50 likes, and I'll bring on a special guest towards the end of the show if we get this to 50 likes. Genus. Nick Gubb is coming in and saying Genus. Benzinga loves Genus. I know quite a few folks here love Genus. Let's talk about Genius Brands. I believe the CEO was on Benzinga recently too, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be mistaken. But if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you could find that out for yourself. Let's take a look at it. Genus had a fantastic day too, 9%. Now, I know some of you are probably used to the 2020 numbers where 100% was considered fantastic. But again, we're in 2021. The markets are choppy waters. So it's interesting. Look at this, right at the 50 moving average again. A lot of the stocks that I've been watching today have been essentially, I play a lot in the mid cap. I do play penny stocks. Genius is not one that I looked at previously, but a lot of them, with everything that's been going on during the craziness, have been operating between the 200 moving average and the 50 moving average. And the 50 moving average has been where a lot of the resistance is. And again, we could see that paralleled here one more time. Take a look at this. It hit the 50 moving average. I want to see, did it close above the 50? It did. It closed 1 cent above the 50. The 50 moving average is 1.8, closed at 1.81. Into after hours, we are above the 50 moving average. Let's see if this rally continues into tomorrow. We got the RSI strong. MACD's looking strong. I like this. I like this movement again. Tomorrow, I'm a bit worried about the amount of volume we'll have in the markets tomorrow because of the 3-day weekend coming up. I imagine folks will be taking profits. Heed caution, my friend Nick. Heed caution. Let's keep going. Oh, we got one of my favorite stocks in the chat. Now, I don't own any more shares of this, but this one, Rocket, coming in from Jazz Sushi. Rocket was also a player in a short squeeze recently this year. So those of you who may or may not be familiar, good old Rocket is one of the stocks that had its own short squeeze. Now, it wasn't much long-lived, unfortunately, but as someone who was holding Rocket shares and was expecting a movement like this in the next 3 to 5 years, I had the opportunity to exit my position, and I was quite happy. Look at this. Rocket ran. Now, Rocket, for those of you who don't know, operates in the real estate space. They're very similar to UWMC, Redfin, essentially in that world of stocks it operates, and those are its peers, essentially. Rocket was stuck essentially between the 17 and the 22, 23 area. Then there was a massive short squeeze thanks to our friends at Wall Street Bets. Hats off to you. Got me out of there, which I was quite appreciative of. And also, Rocket kind of screwed themselves by giving a special dividend, which was, I think, too lofty for them in this stage of the company, right after barely a year out of IPO. Let me see. Has it been a year since they IPO'd? Let me see. When did they IPO? These guys IPO'd in August, so it hasn't even been a year yet. And we can see, unfortunately, Rocket has fizzled out. Finally forming a 200 moving average because it's been trading for 200 trading days, 200 and what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 205 trading days it's been trading, but we're way below the 200 moving average. Not a good sign. It's testing the 21 moving average, which is under the 50 moving average. I don't know. You got some good volume that came in today, which is good, 5% rally, but this stock has been in deep, deep waters. Look, it was oversold for a long period of time. It took a big dive. It's trying to recover. This thing's going to have a hard time, in my opinion, because you've got interest rate situation until the interest rates go back up, and these companies live off of these interest rates and dealing with all this interest rate stuff. It's going to have a hard time. So heed caution on Rocket, in my opinion. I wanted to like this stock. I really, really wanted to have this in my portfolio long term. Thankfully, Wall Street Bets got me out before this drop happened. But again, it's an interesting one. I think in the next, maybe if you're a long-term investor, in the next 3 to 5 years, it could possibly pay off. But you got to remember, this is a long, long game for you. And as the banner below says, not a financial advisor. All right, let's see. Let's keep going. Where are my likes at? Where's my like crew? Where's my like crew? I want you to smash the like button, and we got to get this up. We got to get these likes up. Come on, we got Eden in the chat, rocking and rolling for us. We got Eden in the chat, rocking and rolling. Nick, we just did Genus, man. We just did Genus. Let's see, who else do we got? We got what's next? Check out Mogo and let me know what you think for the next few weeks. Sailing Cloud 9 wants Mogo. Let's go to Mogo. I'm assuming that's a stock and not a crypto. It is a stock. It's a penny stock. It's having fun in the after hours. I see. Let's see. I don't know anything about Mogo, so I got to read a little bit. This is where the Benzinga Pro tool allows me to fast track myself during DD when I'm doing the show. That's why I'm able to do this so quickly. Mogo Inc. is a Canadian-based financial technology company. It offers a finance application to consumers with solutions which help them to control their financial health. As Mogo users sign up for the free account, they get access to the products. All right, crypto more. Okay, so it reminds me of SoFi. It's very parallel to SoFi, very parallel to the financial industry instruments that are out there. Let's take a look at the chart. Let's hopefully it loads this time. Come on. But again, this is interesting. This could be an interesting opportunity. 1 second. I want to see the float. 55 million float. We got a low floater on our hands. There we go. There it is. Let me see. Let me see. Interesting. I'm not crazy about it. It looks like a bit of a head and shoulders pattern here, but you got an extra shoulder right here. So let's just say this is the head. And again, this is probably better for Neil. Would do a much better job analyzing this one. It's a bit of a complicated one. This reminds me a lot of Mara's chart with the freaking 2 shoulders and 1 head. You got strong support here at 624, which is good. We've seen it bounce multiple times off of 624, 3 times to be exact, which is interesting. Very good to see that. Very good sign. But again, it hasn't rallied much higher than that point. It looks like what it does is it comes to this area, bounces higher. Then again, it had a nice little bounce off the 50 moving average, went up, then unfortunately came back down to this point, and then it had a lower high. Then it came down, and again, it had a lower high. This worries me. I feel like it's going to come back down. Look at this. The RSI is telling me we're going back down. It's peaking downward. MACD shows me a bit of a reversal happening, but I feel a rejection to that reversal might be coming soon where we come back down and again test this 622. Now, the question to you, from me to you, which unfortunately, we can't talk to each other because this isn't a live chat, but what is the big differentiating factor? Why is Mogo struggling so hard? Have they not been able to execute? Has it been earnings? What's the deal here? Why are they stuck here, whereas their peers are doing much better? And maybe consider investing in their peers. But let me see if I can see what's going on. Q1 results, earnings transcript. I'm not reading earnings transcript. Sales were up year over year. Mogo sees an 80 to 100% year over year subscription and revenue growth, which is fantastic. But again, that could be like we had 1, now we have 5. But again, I'm just having some fun with you here. But let me see. Form 6. So they are an international company. So Form 6 is essentially the same thing as an 8K. A 6K is an 8K, but for international companies, they file a 6K. If you guys are an NNDM, you'll probably see that a lot. A lot of international filings coming from NNDM. Let me see. Subscription service revenues were up, which is good. Interest revenue is up. Again, interest revenue is down, which is weird, but I get it. Rates have been going lower. Cost of revenue is down significantly, which is a very good sign in my opinion. There's a note for that. It says note 4. Go read note 4 as to why. All right, we don't want to do too much of a deep dive, and I want to get to more people's questions. So sailing cloud 9, I think you got some DD on your hands, my friend. Alejandro, my friend, let's go over NEO, one of my favorite stocks. We talk about NEO on this show and on this channel a lot. NEO, Li Auto, and Xpeng are the 3 Goliaths in the Chinese EV market. All 3 of these have their fun, and they move very, very parallel to each other. So it's kind of like if you want a cheap alternative, you can go with Li Auto. If you want someone in the middle, you can go with Xpeng. And if you want the premium product, it's NEO. So it's kind of like when you go to the gas station and you got all 3 nozzles. You can pick one, have some fun with it. All right, let's see. Let's go into the chart. Let me just want to make sure there's no random earnings. I know they did good on their earnings. Car deliveries were good last time. I remember seeing that. We're just going to go in there with that assumption and kind of take the bull by the horns. All right, look at this. As you can see, we got quite a bit of drawings here. Look at this beautiful rally that NEO has had. So I'm just going to MACD and RSI are up. Just keep that in the back of your head as we keep going. Look at this. We had a support line drawn. I had a bunch of support lines. I think we had a massive deep dive one day on NEO. We had support lines drawn. It broke through the support line here, which is okay, but it recovered, and it's been bouncing and going upward. Now it wants to, look at this. This is a bit scary for those technical fans out there. This is what we call a death cross. It's when the 200 moving average goes above the 50 moving average. It's not a good sign. Now, bear in mind, as you can see here, the death cross didn't play out. Death cross usually means we're going down. Death cross here did not play out, which is okay, which is good. But again, can it play out later down the line? Sure, but we'll have to see how that plays out. But I'm liking NEO. I want to see it. I want to see it keep going. I want to see it keep rallying. But again, if we come here, let's see where we get. We had some resistance here in the past around the $40 area, $39, $40 area. Looks like it wasn't met with much resistance today. No wild wicks. But it closed above the 200 moving average, which is, I'm happy to see that. I'm very happy to see that. I like that a lot. And yeah, Alejandro, I think this is to me, again, this is a long-term play in my opinion. It's backed by the Chinese government. They got their money coming in. They're having fun, and it's been going. It's been going. It's been going. All right. Let's see what time is it. It's 5:50. We got a little bit more time. The blind trader says they love Benzinga Pro. I love Benzinga Pro too. And if you want to sign up for Benzinga Pro, there's a promo code in the description where you can get 30 days of Benzinga Pro for $10. If you put in, I think it's code 30 or something like that. It's in the description. Let me find it for you. It should be in there. It is not in there, but that's okay. You know what I'll do? I'll do you folks a favor. I'll go to my Twitter. I got my affiliate link on there, which you can help me out by signing up with my affiliate link if you want to sign up, and we can get you on there. Plus, if you want to get a little bit more familiar with Benzinga Pro, I threw together a little bit of a video so you can kind of get your hands and feet wet with Benzinga Pro, and you can kind of see where that's going. So let me just do a quick Google search, search within Twitter. While we're doing that, I want you folks to give me more stocks. While that's loading, let's jump into another stock. So NEO, fantastic. I like it. I like it a lot. DNN. Mochi wants us to go over DNN. Uranium had a good day today. I'm invested in UUUU, which is another uranium play, but I heard DNN had some fun today as well, so we got to dump into it. Dimension Mines Corp. Mitch, I see you down there. Do you want to jump in? All right, Mitch, we got a surprise guest coming in. So I want you, we're 2 likes away from 60 likes. Get this to 60 likes for me, and I'll bring in our surprise guest, which I kind of spoiled a little bit, but that's okay. But let me do this for you. I'm retweeting it right now. Here, I'm gonna put it on the screen so you can see it. Take a look at this. I got a video for you, and I got a 1-month trial for only $10 if you use the promo code 30 days. So here, I'm going to even put it in the chat for you too. So boom, boom, boom. While you're there, no excuses. I want you to also hit the follow button on my Twitter. I'm going to pump my Twitter a little bit here too. We got to get those followers up there too, but there you go. 30 days, 30-day trial of Benzinga Pro. Fantastic platform for only $9.97. Plus, I got a YouTube review for you where I'll show you all the features. So if you're worried a bit, you can jump in and check out that video, and you can learn about the platform. It's a fantastic platform. I use it on a daily basis. I got myself an iPad here. I got it on there all day watching, getting all the news coming in. But as promised, let's take a look at DNN. Woof, look at this. We got a massive volume spike in DNN. Went high. Look at this. It went to another top. It's had resistance here before around this $1.30 level. If I'm not mistaken, you $1.32, $1.35. It's had some resistance there, but it's fighting. It's fighting. I like DNN. I think DNN is going to surprise us. I think DNN is going to surprise us in the coming weeks to months. But again, patience. Uranium is also one of those plays. It's going to get really hot this year into next year. So it's a long-term thing. This could be your next Mara. Maybe you get another 16,000% run from this guy. So we'll definitely have to see how that all plays out. Let me see one more. Nick, my guy, I got you. Palantir. Now, we got a running joke that every single stream we talk about Palantir, so I try not to talk about Palantir on every single stream, but okay, today we'll talk about Palantir. It is what it is. You got to give the people what they want. And if you don't like Palantir, my apologies, but we got an audience here. We got to keep it democratic, and not democratic party-wise, but I mean like democratic, like open to the people. Woof. All right. That was rough. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So let's go. So folks who know Palantir, and I'll be honest with you, 99% of us have no clue what Palantir does. We just like the CEO's haircut. That's the main reason a lot of us like to invest in Palantirs, because of the haircut. But look, they came down to a low. Those who bought in the 17s on earnings, that silly earnings sale, and that's it. They went like we had earnings, and then everyone's like sell, and then they said we accept Bitcoin. Everyone said buy, and everyone bought back in, and it ran literally right back up, and it's been doing good. Palantir is going to take some time. Look, Palantir, as if you remember, we talked about Rocket before, operating in a box. Palantir has also been operating in a box, broke outside of the box downward. But I don't know if we will get to these highs in the 30, 40s this year. If I had to take a guess, I'd say maybe towards Q3, Q4, we start testing 25, 26 and build to support there. But this is a slow burn play that in the next like 3 to 5 years should hopefully pay off, but we'll see how that goes. Surprise guest, are you ready? That's a yes. Boom.
Let's do it.
As Nick says, let's go. We're morning zoo now. What's going on, Mitch, my man? How are you?
What's up? What's going on, man? Came to join the show, wanted to go ahead, and I've been wanting to come on your show, so I said, well, why not just – I don't need my own show. I'm hopping on.
We're doing a crossover, man. This is one for the ages. This is like Full House meets Family Matters.
Hey, you've come on my show, so I can do more than just definitely come on your show. I'm coming on your show with some great ideas. I'm ready to go. I'm feeling pumped. I don't know about you. Maybe it's a couple days off, but I'm feeling like I got my buying shoes on so much, Ryan, that today I had to talk to the investment committee. I brought the fiance up and I said, you know what, honey, we gotta start dipping our toes a little bit. We got to start going a little harder.
Investment committee. I thought you went to do some like private investing. I thought like you pulled up to Robinhood headquarters and said, I want to get in some of those early shares.
Oh, for my people out there that know how it is when you go and make these investments, you got to bring the wife in. So, I started questioning. I said, you know what? It's that time. It's that time. And then I've been doing really well with my account. So I'm getting to the point that I just feel like I need to push the boundaries. Sometimes you need to push the boundaries. And the best thing that I've learned in any market is that there's waves to the game. And when the waves come back, that's when you need to learn, hey, when do I need to have my foot on the gas and when do I need to have my foot on the brake? And this is so important because there's going to be times where we need to risk adjust and, dial down, wait till you find the actual bottom. And then there's times when you really started seeing stocks swing back up, you're getting those momentum, you're getting that trend to follow. That's when you need to, hey, put on the big boy pants and take some swings because that's what it's all about.
The big boy wallet too. That's what really matters.
That was the investment committee talk there.
Hey, what were you looking at today, Mitch? So we could jump into those charts.
Let's do it.
You want to screen share?
Yeah, I can screen share for sure. Definitely here. Let me get a screen ready here. There you go. Perfect. Let's first take a look. How I like to do, Ryan. I always like to look at like industries and stocks and sectors first. So today was a big day for industrials and basic materials. And so with that being said, I've been seeing oil like kind of continue making a move. But if you look at like aerospace defense, metal fabrication, a couple of these definitely started making some good moves up. But a lot of these have like these reopening plays, like the airlines. Look at those airlines. Look at that thing, man. I'll tell you one thing.
Did you see Boeing today?
They bailed those things out, man, and that could have been it right here.
Too big to fail.
Too big to fail. That's the truth, man. Too big to fail, man. And if anything, we'll just buy them out, right?
Benzinga Airlines. We got to talk to Jason next time. Next time we have a crash or a plague, God forbid, we got to talk to Jason. Maybe we buy Delta or Spirit.
Man, I know Carnival, man. I mean, taking off, man. I said it on Money Mitchell. Is that the last chance to get? Yeah, it's last chance. These things are taking off. By the time you see it again, it'll be at, I think, pre-pandemic levels, which are the next stop up is 40.
I'm still interested in how many people really like cruises. I never even thought about cruises till before until the pandemic hit, and I heard about that Carnival cruise that got stuck with people in the middle of the ocean. I never really thought cruises mattered. I was like, it's something for the old folks. And then you see a bunch of youngins on there.
Yeah, it's interesting. One that I'm actually, and I want to call up, the positions that are a little bit closer. Today, we didn't get that much of a push in gambling stocks. So I know my little degenerate gamblers out there want to talk about some of that, So to me, RSI is my stock right now that I'm taking a shot in. And I can tell you guys, I don't do this often, but I'm taking now. I would consider this almost a little bit over a double position. So not so much of a triple dip, but double dip. And I don't double dip.
Now I know why you have to go to the committee.
High conviction. And the idea too is that I was right close to my entry, and I've been holding to the supports so well that today, I mean, clearly drawn. What was drawn for me here, guys? Look at this retrace. And look at that candle. That's what I like to see. When you see those multiple bottoms, I was already holding my support off of this $12. Today, you got a quick dip. And so what I did is I said, Mitch, be careful there, So I put the stop out there at 1180s. And I said, if they hit me, they hit me.
Oh, boy.
They hit me. I put it out there at 1180s. And guess what? They didn't hit me. There's a reason why I put it out there. Because when you double position, you need to always get tighter and tighter on the risk. And in my eyes, you need to start determining what's a total risk. What I call total risk is the spot where if it cracks, I don't care who's getting me out. I'm hitting that bid no matter what. And so that was this position right here. And so now that I'm in, I'll tell you guys, I'm right above it with a good average positioning between all these days. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for this to get back above this 1348. That's where it needs to get strong. That's where the bulls are going to really step up, and I can see it pushing through 14. What's going to get it here, guys? I think you need to keep your eyes on the big boys, Penn and DKNG. But I think, you're going to have a big quarter 3, quarter 4 in these stocks. Just because football is going to be big, man. I think football is going to be big betting this year. You're also going to see a lot of NFTs.
Massive year-over-year.
Yeah, and you're going to see NFTs coming out. This is going to be so much hype into sports. I think you're going to see big moves. AMC, I'm sure you've already talked about it today, Ryan, but that still surprising me. So I definitely mentioned that. Positions that I'm doing great in. Let's talk a little bit better. What's looking great?
Yeah, let's go to happy days, man. Let's go to your
so
happy day positions.
Let's look at Max R right now. Max R is one that I'm looking at, and I love that turnaround on that chart. That turnaround to me looks.
You're in Maxer too?
Yeah, man.
I'm a Maxer bull, man. I love that thing.
Dude, since $10, I've been recommending this thing. I love this thing. The reason why? Space contracts, dude.
Mm-hmm. With the government, they're in there with Tesla. Their tech is getting better and better.
You know what?
People are sleeping on them.
I don't care about like these like kind of little sexy space names. I want the one that makes the money, the one that shows the revenue, the reoccurring revenues, the one that I see the partners, and all I see are things like U.S. Air Force, the Ministry of
Tesla Motors.
Yeah, you see governments paying big contract to the bottom line, and consumers change their mind. You know, like reservations are reservations, but contracts are contracts. And that there's a reason why they're working those contracts. And it gives an easier way to really evaluate the company versus, let's say, a company that's very comparable that a lot of people like to compare is SPCE. Even though this one has drives higher than the other one, but I stay far away from this one.
Don't talk to me about that one. Their business, I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone who's in the stock. I don't like to talk about a stock publicly, but the same way that I'll give flowers to a stock in a company, I got to bury a stock sometimes too. This business model just does not make sense to me. I still don't understand why Kathy would ever invested. I don't know how this stock ever got so big. I don't get it. I'm not a fan. As our good friend Kevin O'Leary would say, I'm out.
Hey, aerospace and defense still looking strong. So I say keep those on radar, keep them on radar.
Plus, we got the alien talk happening now. So all these space stocks got to start heating up somewhere, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they definitely got to heat up somewhere. What is a play that you're looking at right now, man?
For me, a big one that I've been watching, it's one that I've been kind of swinging from into like when all that chaos happened is Lemonade. A lot of people.
The lemonade. Lemonade. I'll tell you what, Miles looking better, so Lemonade should probably looking better too. I'll tell you that's what I would look. I always like to point out a stock that I think is similar. To me, both similar, both in the same area, both trying to step up and fight big competitors. Both need to kind of get through this period where they're really just trying to figure out what's the best pricing. And I think that you're going to start seeing that these can definitely turn around. A lot of the names that you think are forgotten are coming back, guys. Like UWMC was a good one that I called out on Money Mitch. I said, dude, this one's the PE was nice and low. I saw the value getting really low. And then that's when you start thinking about the change in what a SPAC is versus just consider this a stock. And the value actually starts making sense. And that's why it's turned around, guys. That's why it's starting to rip. And it's really going to push. I think with this,
I'm a little bit worried about this one, to be honest with you. This one, Rocket Mortgage, we were talking about a little bit earlier with the interest, until interest rates come back and the housing market starts to level a little bit. I'm a little bit worried about these two.
Yeah. I mean, what it is that these are not long-term pops. These are pops that are going to come in. Before this one, we had this move up, which was Finance of America, FOA. Right. So you can keep your eyes on that one and RKT. RKT's run today was all based off of UWMC. I know some people would want to think that it's the opposite way. No, it's pair trading. It's seeing one break off and that spike. And then people think like I do. A lot of the times, where's the laggard play? They grabbed the rocket today. And definitely you saw that take off. With technology kind of fighting in the realms, I think there's a lot of plays there that are going to be interesting. One play that I got into in solar, because I'm looking at some solar plays, and I've been calling this bottom, so I'm hoping that at least on the index kind of look, that's kind of the bottom look, and then we're really starting to push back up there towards the resistance. The real key is, can we get kind of some presidency support? That's what I think you need to see. You need to see some catalyst drive where
the infrastructure bill.
And it's coming. You've been seeing the slowly rotation to those stocks, Ryan. Some of the ones that I've been watching in there, and I can point out here, which would be interesting to talk about, is when we go into utilities, look at regulated water. regulated water stocks have been making rips. And before this kind of time, we had a move up and then a pullback. Let's see with those infrastructure talks, do you get continued pushing there? But Max N is actually one that I just took, guys. Why? Because I saw a clear label support there, and I can at least attack it. And this is a stock that actually was kind of a spin-off look here. And so this one made a big rip up to the 50s. I'm not looking up for another 50 look, but I'm just looking for this weekly low to hold, which is 1503. And so with that being said, if you look at the daily, I mean, we've had multiple lows right here at kind of this 1540 area. Now I feel like if we really can get above and get towards this 18, I mean, this stock can really start pushing up. One of the ones that I compare to this one is SOL. SOL, look at this chart. This one's been starting to really look strong the last couple of days. Let's see if this one continues to run. And
I think with solar, we're going to see a lot of these Bitcoin mining companies. I don't know if you've been watching Marathon, added 2 people from First Solar to their board. There's a lot of solar talk in that space from these different companies. We might be seeing some of those parallels coming in, which means one of these companies or many of these companies are about to get a nice contract.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think there's going to be a round of a push again, because I mean, what happens is a lot of times when the stocks get forgotten, they come all the way back down. And this is exactly what these stocks are doing. If you really look at the monthlies, you're going to see that it did what? 4 months up, 4 months down. That's actually a good thing. You know what I mean? That means that a lot of that is kind of a base move. It based up and it based down really well. And so that what that does is always give you levels to go off of. And when you use monthlies, I know a lot of traders out there are crazy about their daily charts, their weekly charts, and even kind of trading off of, like, let's say 1 minute charts. But when you go off of multiple time frame long-term trades, we're using a monthly. The weeklies look good. The daily looks good. That's when you have it set up. That's when I like.
Take a step back and you can see the bigger picture of what's going on overall, time over time. The same way you want to step into it in a tighter time frame, it's also good to see a wider time frame too, to see how the stock operates, how it moves. You could probably sometimes even map cycles to a stock, come back to it in like 2 to 3 months and buy low, sell high, quote unquote, right? Just, I know that's a saying a lot of people laugh at, but you could find the cycle within the stock and play it that way.
Definitely, I agree. So another outside play that I've been looking at is LYV, and this is Live Nation. This is one that I called out a little bit earlier near this bubble, and I'm looking to see if it can continue going. I think this one can really ramp up through 100 by the end of the summer. Of course, this one would take a pullback going into winter because you just don't get as many concerts. But I think this is the ramp up period because one of the things that you saw is that a clear change into the summer. This is cyclical, guys. Cyclical. This is not a move that I would call anything other than cyclical. It went down right back to a prior resistance here at kind of the 74.30s, and now has really just been pushing straight back up, a straight trend. When you find these stocks in moments like this, when the market seems like it's pushing on up on every stock, those are the ones you want to be with. The highest trending, linear names, the ones that are showing you that continuous momentum push, because those are the ones that you can make the 8 to 10% returns in a daily kind of move.
Or over a swing. It doesn't have to all be in one day, too.
Yeah. That's what I like to do. You know me.
You don't have to wake up worried. Did they have an offering? Did they drop? What's going on? These are the ones you can kind of ride the wave with, and they don't keep you up at night.
It's hard to find those, but when you get one, it's fun to just be in even smaller stocks that just kind of continue to uptrend. And so, like, one that I called out was Dropbox, and you see kind of a linear move. Those are the ones you want to be. Yeah, it's not making a massive move. It's from 25 to 27, but when you have those consistent higher lows, and the stock continues to hold its price action, that's sometimes the best stocks to be in when the market just wants to come up. And right now in the Qs, we've been just pushing on upwards. And so I think until
the techs are slowly coming back. The tech stocks are slowly coming back. If you bought them when they were oversold, this is where you're finally being able to cash in. The commodities are going to start pulling off soon. I think with this next CPI data report we get in June, we're going to see a little bit tighter numbers. It won't be as wild this time. And then I think into the summer, we're going to see the techs to start to rally into the summer, into the fall. So I think this is a great opportunity to find those that are oversold, that you have high conviction in, your Teslas, your Lucids, whatever you like. Buy now, and then I think towards the end of the year, we should have some fun.
Yeah, last area I want to come in, and then we'll just go from the chat, Ryan. Let's talk a little bit about materials. So to me, materials are really going to come back booming. I know that some people said, "Oh yeah, but we got a big pullback." Yeah, but that's what you want to see.
That's when you load.
Exactly. It's not on the rip outs, guys. It's when you have a support to go off of, some risk spots, because when a stock is just pushing through the levels, it's really hard to know really where your support should be. And so what happens is you get attacked a lot on your support. You think it's the support, but it just washes through. And so right now, I'm seeing a bunch of these looking strong. Like, look at this aluminum. That's aluminum. That's a strong bounce today. That's not even that's holding these 420s and just.
Did you see corn today?
Yep, coin. I saw it started getting.
No, corn. CORN.
Corn. Oh no, I didn't. It made a massive.
It had a nice 5% rally. Larry earlier on in the stream was watching, and he said, "Check out corn." I was like, "All right, let's go." Boom, we were up 5 points. I was like, "Wow, this is fantastic."
So that shows that there's it might not just be materials, right? And so that you're seeing a rotation until a little bit different. It's always about rotations, guys. These rotations are where the big boys play, and they start moving the money. And a lot of times, I don't like to just stay in one sector, one industry. I like to move with the big boys. Try to find the plays with the big boys. So today I took FCX. I took this one live, and it wasn't the worst trade. I mean, it really wasn't. I mean, I was able to take a lot of it out on the first VWAP bounce, but as you can see, it's still uptrending. And then this is what you want to be in a lot of times. Like, one of the things that I used to feel like I used to get caught a lot, and just to tell kind of more of a story to end here, is that at the end of the day, I felt like a lot of times I used to get caught on the wrong side of the trend. And why? Because I was fighting trend. And so that's why I'd use sectors and industries so much to try to find the right pushes. So this was the copper chart today, and look at how similar it is to FCX. So this is copper, but then when you look at FCX, look how it's very similar.
Parallel charts.
Yeah, parallel charts. And then, but at least this gives you an ability to at least be on the right trend and not see some big reversal go against your way. And so a lot of times, especially day traders, you have to figure out ways to protect yourself, right? And how can I fight the market without actually fighting the market? I want to be with the trends. I want to be with the right sector moving on up. And this is what I'm looking at right now. I see industrials, metals, and minerals being the one. Look at this closing volume. 9.6 million shares right at the close. Wow. That gives you a sign, guys. I look for volume at the close and open to give me signs for the big boys, those imbalances. And now look how this industrials, metals, and minerals looks. It looks great. Nice support, multiple touches. And now let's see if it starts pushing on back up here. Names in this sector to watch. The ETF, if you like to be safe, LIT. Look how this is looking. Looking strong there. This is one that I like. This is like, if you like to play like kind of a global approach, this would be that play. This would be that play for it to come back up here closer towards 70. I think it can work its way up. But I like playing some stock winners. And to me, there's two here. PLL. I like this one. I've played it since the call out.
PLL.
Yeah, I actually, man, I remember when I called this one out in the 30s, and Dennis was killing me about it because it had gone sideways for like 3 months. But I was like, those are the ones I like, man. The ones that are sleepy, the forgotten fellows.
Yeah, because then they come back into rotation. The hedge funds are like, oh, who's been trading sideways? Who's down? Let's get into there. Let's make some
They're
money
thinking
there.
The same way, man. They're thinking the same way because we don't want to always take the name that's just ripping through the sun. And at that time, MP was ripping through the sun, and PLL was on the pullback. It was on the sideways trend, and then I saw it rip. So now this is one that I'm also looking at for a new rip. This one actually did an offering, and it actually gapped down and it started pulling down the price. But I think that was an actual good thing, because now you got some people to step up here. And I think at around 25, they've been building a position. And this one's interesting. I think this one can really start making a drive back up here towards 35, and then eventually being back up at 50 by the end of the year. So definitely keep your eyes on materials, man. Maybe some lithium moves start making moves here. So
I think so too. I think MP is an interesting one. They had great earnings. I think their last 2 earnings were fantastic. I think MP's got a great future ahead of it. And I think as we're going into the EV space, you got to remember that those bucket and shovel plays, man. You need these materials to make those batteries and those elements. You need them all. By the way, someone in the chat is asking what the name of this platform is that you're using.
You want the old school. They want the old school here. I'm a little bit of a boomer with my charting, guys. I use TC2000, guys. TC2000. I should have some link there so I get some referral money, but no. No, at the end of the day, guys, I'm not going to stress it there. TC2000, it's a paid charting. It's not cheap. It's I wouldn't say it's the cheapest. I mean, I get a student discount, so I get around like $30. So it's not that bad. I mean, with live data, everything gives me some more comfortableness. I feel like it's faster. I can find stocks faster. I can move around, and my charts seem to make sense a little bit more. I can visually like kind of scroll back more and see a cleaner view. And really, I use it a lot for these kind of little sector indexes that they use. And what does that do? Like I said, just puts me on the right trend.
Yeah, gives you the command center.
Yep, that's what it's about, guys. All right, let's go ahead. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about some stocks from the chat. I've been seeing a lot of plays. We're gonna have some fun. We'll probably do some happy hour Mitch tomorrow. I might get Ryan on there. Who knows? Stay tuned.
Subscribe. That's the only way to find out.
But yeah,
by the way, we have a spoken unspoken deal with the viewers. They got to hit the like button if they're going to throw a stock in the chat for us to go over. So we know that producer AB has this software where he can tell if you've liked it or not.
Yep, and I can check too. I can hit the thumbs up.
Oh, you got that too. There you go.
I just hit the thumbs up, guys. There you go. Boom, boom. Let's see if we can get to 100. We need 17 more likes, guys. We got over 277 people watching. Definitely people jumping in. We got this out on Benzinga. We got this out on Money Mitch. We got this out on Ryan Rozbiani. I mean, where else can you get this? I mean, we're taking over the world here, Ryan. But
I bet we got more viewers than Kramer right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to talk about the hedgy. He's coming back to SPACs, guys. Just wait. Just wait till he says, "Oh no, but I like this one, guys."
I like this one. My buddy bought it. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
No. He'll have a big CEO, and he'll be like, "But your stock is crazy cheap right now." All right, guys, let's take a look. What else is being mentioned in the chat? Let's see if we got up there. We got 91 likes. Can we hit that 100?
Let's get there, folks.
We need 9 more there, 9 more. We got Eden doing the countdown, never stopping. I don't know if Eden is a bot.
No, Eden's legit.
It's dude, that guy's a Terminator.
Yeah, they've come on some of my YouTube streams too. It just helps get the like machine going.
Dude, that guy Garden, man. Hasta la vista. He's taking on, man. Richard wants to hop on. Hey, Richard, dude, hit me up, man. I might have to get you on the happy hour. Hit me up. You guys know my Twitter right there. Boom, boom. Look, I got
folks, follow us on Twitter, by the way. If
the Menzel shirt on.
Where's the suit, man?
Where's
the money? Where's the money?
The Minshew. Would you guys take trades from this guy?
I don't think it was
just like this guy, just like moving his face.
Honestly, you know what? I think on Twitter they would. As long as
on
you give
Twitter
like
they
one
would,
winner,
dude. They
if you
would.
give them one winner and like 1,500 losers, they'll take that. They'll follow you to the end of the year.
I bet you I started a parody trading account of Minshew. Minshew madness.
Minshew trades.
Minshew trades. Dude, 100,000 subs real quick.
And then you can start like a Discord and charge people like $800,000 a week, and then they'll all come in with you, and then you could front load on them and sell, and then you can make so much more money on the side.
The Minshew Madness trades. All right, let's get it. We got 97. We need 3 more. Who's gonna do it? Bow, bow, bow.
I want to get into the psychology of those that watch but don't hit the like button for us. What's the hold back there? We'd like to talk to you.
I've said this before, dude, Ryan. Like, dude, these people are like, yo, just let me know. Give me the unlike. Sometimes it sounds bad, but
dislike if you want.
I want an opinion.
Treats it the same.
I want an opinion. That's all I want. I want your feedback. That's what we need. We live and breathe off of the feedback. All right, let's do it. Let's get it. We got 101. Boo! We got it, man. We got it. Let's do this. All right, stocks from the chat. What do we got here? First up. Who from this moment on? Who's gonna be the first one to show up on our list here? Da 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 dun. What's up, Prince? What's going on, man? Chilling in the easy. 101, Eden keeping us in check. You already know it. There you go, my man. BBBA Ruel. Hey, I haven't seen the Ruel report in a while. I got to catch up, man.
He's got a great show too. I sneak in there sometimes. I'll watch it through the
Twitter. I'm gonna have to go on there and do a little top shots. I got a top shot pack to open up. I gotta go on there. All right, so looking at this one, man, let's take a look, Ryan. I mean, you can pull it up. Also, take a look. BBVA.
Sure.
All right. Nice trend. So we're talking banks here, but really, I mean, wow. I mean, since November, I mean, I don't know who got in there, but that thing's a rocket since then. The only thing I'd be interested in is what happened on this day, this Thursday, the 20th. I think for now you got a line in the sand at $6. As long as it keeps holding that $6, it could continue this uptrend. What are you thinking, Ryan?
I think so too. I think it's built to support. It's got a momentum moving upward. It might have a small pullback because it's had this massive rally. It's got a few red days sprinkled in there, but you got the volume is holding consistently, except that one big green bar right in the middle. But I don't know. I like it. I mean, I'd like to get into it when it kind of cools down a little bit, comes down a little bit lower. Then I'd probably start to add. But if you're in it, I think bravo.
Yeah, definitely. It's one that like if you got it down, these are ones that like you test yourself. A lot of times when I have these that gap a lot, what I do is I try to put in maybe even sometimes like it could be a small position, but I can put 5 orders out, 6 orders out, trying to get the best position, the best average. And that's what the algorithms will be doing in a stock like this also. When you see the algorithms putting in those really small orders, those 50, 100 orders, what they're trying to do is they're trying to build themselves up to have the best average in the day.
And you should all be doing that too, by the way. It's called dollar cost averaging, and it protects your capital, and it helps you when the markets go red. Psychologically, you buy some dips. I know you're not supposed to say that, but you buy in the dip, then you start building your full position. You got a nice, beautiful average close to support, then you got nothing to be worried about.
I can't stress it enough, man. I say this countless times, guys. You're not paying commissions on these trades. Put in multiple orders to get your best pricing when you're going to take your trade. Even if, let's say, you're going to say, okay, so I'm about to get in this trade and I'm going to put a total of $100 in. Don't put all that $100 in one order. Stack it in. Let's say if that was 10 shares, I would put it in, even in, if you wanted, you could do it one at a time. But you could, if you wanted to make it a little bit more simple. I wouldn't do one at a time. Then
you're gonna lose your mind doing it.
A little simple. You can go 2. You can go even 2. You can do 5 orders at like maybe even like you're talking dollar cost. Maybe you're even a little quicker. Maybe you can even do 25-cent increments.
Mm-hmm.
That could help also. I'm telling you, even one a little bit lower is going to help you than putting them both at the same price. It gives yourself an opportunity to get those wick buys where you just get wicked, you get in, and then you see the wick close right above you, and you're like, okay, that was nice. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the shares. I'll take those.
That always feels good.
or wick sells also. That's why you put out limit orders on the sell side. I got a couple limit orders on some trades right now.
You sneak out real quick.
XPEV. I'm hanging out over 15%, Ryan.
and
that's
out of there.
Those are ones that you just start putting the sneaker out there. You're just like, if someone wants to take it in pre-market, they could take it.
It's like that. It's like that random Uber ride at 4 a.m. You're like, I hope someone picks me up.
Yeah, no, definitely 100%. You're throwing
Mitch,
it out.
I want to get
there,
your take on AMC. You want to pull up AMC? I want to get your take on it.
AMC, of course. Ben talking about AMC. Everyone talking about AMC. Really, this is the story that has surprised me of all the stories, because I never expected AMC to even survive the pandemic. And I'm going to be honest. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it to survive, because the movie theaters don't make sense no more. But this isn't about the movie theaters.
Hey, leave my movie theaters alone. I know you don't like the movie theaters.
This isn't about it. This isn't about it. This is literally about share volume and rotation, guys. Share volume and rotation. It's always about, a lot of times when you see these short squeezes, I look at rotation, float, rotation, right? And so if you look at AMC's float, it's pretty high. I don't know if you can do this, Ryan. It's 450?
450, yeah.
Okay, so let's calculate a little float rotation here, right? And so if it's 450 and it traded on this day, it's a weekly, but we can go to the daily here so we can get a little bit better day. And so on that day, we got 1.2 billion shares traded, right? And so we have a float around 4, so we can think about the float rotated about 3 times that on that big move, right? Mm-hmm. And so on those pullbacks, what I want to see is, when can we get the float to rotate again? And that's what I want to see. When can we rotate the float again? We get close here on these spikes, like on these after spikes here in March, we went up to a volume here of 443. Not really rotating it though. And so what we wanted to see was something a little bit higher than 400. And we got a little bit of a sign going into this kind of the last pop that we got. We got right here, we got 295, but then the volume pulls back. When you see those volume pulls back after a big volume push out, I don't mind it as long as the stock can stay on support. And this stock went clearly along this 12 support for a good amount of days. 3 days sideways, 4 days sideways, testing that. And even on Monday, it went and tested a low of 1217, but quickly went pushing back up. That's what you want to see. Those are signs that, hey, this stock had a big, massive surge up with a lot of volume and now doesn't want to break back down, wants to go sideways. And so if another massive volume can come in and push it up, since it doesn't have that kind of pushing back to support look, it really gets that momentum on the drive up. And then now we're starting to really rotate that float. And then that's when you really can start getting that momentum push. Today, we traded 725 million shares. And so essentially rotating the float essentially almost twice. And let's look at the hourly. Let's see when this volume really came in. And this volume really came in here kind of at this 11 o'clock hour. And it went through 20, like real simple. And so a lot of times,
like butter. It was
like
wild.
butter,
it just ripped through resistance. It made no sense. But the thing is, it looked like, if you look at GameStop only had a 4% day. It looked like everyone from GameStop said, all right, we're going to rally around AMC today. So GameStop had essentially a flat day where all the volume floated to AMC. And that's smart. You know what that shows to me? That shows to me that the Wall Street bets, or whoever is part of this movement or leading this movement, they're understanding how float and volume works now. So they're able to play, and they're not being divided anymore. They're strategically moving together. And that's really interesting to see how that plays out in the coming weeks.
Yeah, we're going to be wrapping up here. We got another show coming on, Chance Trades, but definitely, guys, take a look at GME, take a look at AMC. I saw a surge also in another Reddit stock, EXPR. That was a big, massive surge. One of the things that I'm looking for, Ryan, and this is just to talk a little bit about these patterns, is that I think that hedge funds and institutionals are actually starting to get behind the retail trade here. I think a reason why we're starting to see these big pops is because we didn't see these stocks break lows. We saw them go sideways, and then they start dipping their toes, holding it sideways. And when they get the pop, they make it try to seem like it's the retail traders again, but really the retail traders are providing that underneath support now. because we're not selling. And if we're not selling, what do we end up holding? We end up being the kind of the investors in the stock. This is a good thing. It's not a bad thing to be an investor. But what happens is that's what institutionals a lot of the times they try to attack, because on the charts, it shows that it can get this pop. It shows that it can get this move back up. And so they're going to go ahead and try to always dip those toes on those support moves and seeing if they can get a pop back into the stock. And clearly you're seeing those pops back. The real question I think you're going to question yourself is that these are potentially the third pops of every one of these big, massive moves. And so after the third pop, a lot of the times you're either going to get a continuation move or a breakdown. The question is, Ryan, what do we get, man? And do we need these?
Time will tell.
Do we need these to keep us going in our other growth stocks? Because if that's true, I mean, then GME to the moon.
It's funny because usually when these guys would pop, everything else would die. But now we're all going up together.
Yeah, man, we're going on up. Moving
GME
on
to the S&P
up.
500, I guess.
Hey, you never know. It definitely could make it up there. We'll see. Live was a good one, Fernando. This was one I've been talking about for a while, man. But we'll see if this one can continue. I called this one out there, but this one's a little bit harder in the spread. So you have to definitely size in with a stock like this. This is LIVE making monster move ups in consumer cyclical sector. All right, guys, going to wrap up. That's it going to be for Ryan. You guys already know this is his show. Check him out, guys. There's a reason why I'm on here. I give him my full honor recommendation. Guys, check my man out. You guys already know. Ryan Rozbiani, I appreciate you coming on and holding it down in between the crossover. This is the crossover time.
We had fun, man. We got to do more of these crossovers. I think the audience liked it. They had some fun. You never know. Maybe we surprise them again soon.
Yeah, definitely, guys. I enjoyed
Only one way to find out. You got to subscribe. That's the only way you'll find out.
We have to, guys. So definitely, guys, we'll catch you guys later. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Up next, Chance Trades. Check it out, guys.